Hello everyone, this is Shiv Prem, legal intern at Lexis and Company, and currently pursuing BLLB honors from Central University of South Bihar. Here, the in this video, I am going to explain the offense of extortion. In the previous video, I had dealt with the offense of theft, and in this video, I am going to explain the offense of extortion. The term extortion is defined under Section 383 of IPC, which states that if a person puts another person in a position of fear or of threat to cause him injury, or decide fully persuade him so that he may deliver property or any other valuable goods to another person, or any document which has been signed and can be turned in a valuable security. Punishment regarding extortion is described under Section 384 of IPC, which may exceed imprisonment, either simple or grievous, for a period of 3 years, or fine, or both. Here also, the offence is cognizable, non-bailable, non-compoundable, and trial by any magistrate. For example, A threatens Z to publish a defamatory label. Afterward, Z gives money to A to not publish such defamatory things. Here, A commits extortion. In the case of Romesh Chandra Arora versus the state, in this case, here a boy and a girl were compelled by the accused to take off their clothes, where their naked pictures were taken by the accused. Later on, the accused used these pictures to threaten and take money from them. The act was considered to be an offence of extortion. So, as we have seen in the theft, offence of theft, there were some essentials. Similarly, there are also some essentials, like there are basically 4 essentials. Like first one is putting a person in the fear of injury. Second one is the having an intention to cause that fear of injury. The inducement was done with dishonesty, and the last one was the delivery to any person of any property or any valuable security. Let us go through the first point, that is putting a person in fear of injury. According to Section 44 of IPC, injury is an harm illegally caused to anybody in body, mind, reputation, or any property. The fear of injury must be real in nature. When some person uses force or others receive property, here all would be held liable for the offence of extortion. The threat of criminal charge, whether true or false, may amount to extortion. If a person threatens another person to expose his illegitimate relationship with a woman, this act is also considered as an offence of extortion. Now, the second point is intention to cause the fear of injury. Here, intention is necessary to cause the fear of injury. In section 39 of IPC, which provides the definition of voluntarily, as a person is said to cause an effect voluntarily when he causes it whereby intended to cause it, or by the means which at the time of employing those means he knew or had reason to believe to be likely to cause it. Okay. Now, let us go to the third point, that is dishonestly induced. Here, the act must induce someone for a certain thing, and the inducement must be done dishonestly. This element is in the case of R versus Abdul Qadir Walad Bala Abuji. Yeah. It was the case of R versus Abdul Qadir Walad Bala Abuji. Here, accused took a tender from the government to gather the firewood, but he misconducted the extent of right and demanded payment from the complainants for some wood that they had gathered. Here, He was found not guilty for extortion on a number of grounds, including the absence of dishonesty. Even though his belief was unfounded, he didn't intend wrongful gain or loss. Okay. Now the last essential point for extortion is delivery to any person. It means it is not necessary that the person who extorts receives the extorted property. So, due to the fear, the person delivers his actual ownership of the property. Okay. Now, on the conclusion, overall, it can be concluded that the commission of both theft and extortion is an offense punishable under IPC. There is a line difference between theft and extortion. Theft is an offense in which movable property of a person is taken away without his consent. If a person intentionally puts another person in a position of fear or of threat to cause him injury, or deceitfully persuade him so that he may deliver the property or any valuable goods to another person, or any document which has been signed and can be turned into a valuable security, for both the offense dishonest intention must be necessary. That's all from my side. Let's end the video, and thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.